Hi everyone, Monique here, Intuitive Soul Savant. Welcome back to the channel and welcome again if you're new. Now this video today is specific for 1960s born, or if you have your Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury in Virgo or Sagittarius. Okay, even Pisces, all Pisces, okay, but specifically it's for those 60s born that had the Pluto conjunct Uranus. That was that generation, okay, and that's, you know, right through, because what's happening at the moment for you guys, me included, is we have Jupiter squaring the Pluto Uranus, okay. It doesn't matter what house it's in, there's specific energy around that. We have just had, and that was my previous video, so go and have a look at that. It didn't get as many views as I thought it would. Probably it may have been a bit deep, I'm not sure. But we have Jupiter has just made its first square to Saturn in Pisces. Jupiter in Gemini squaring Saturn in Pisces. And Jupiter is also squaring the 60s born who have got the Pluto conjunct Uranus. And even if it's not closely conjunct, it doesn't matter. Jupiter will be squaring your Pluto, natal Pluto, or your natal Uranus. Now, that's a whole generation of people, all right? Now, that generation are sort of late 50s, early 60s now, and it's big time, all right? Especially because Virgo is the energy of health, right? And when we're hitting our late 50s, 60s, you know, you really need to get serious unless you're wanting to leave this planet early. I don't know what early or late is, but if you're wanting to leave the planet, go ahead, keep doing what you're doing. If it's in an unhealthy manner, I'm not here to tell you to what to do, but I'm just explaining the energy that your blueprint, when you came in, these are the specific energies. And here we are today, and now the planets roll around and make aspects and create energies. And we, in a way, you could say, are being tested, but not in a bad way. It's just energy. Okay, so we've had that first Jupiter square Saturn. Now that was at 17 degrees. So I know that anybody who was born 65, 66, 67, that's where your Pluto and Uranus is conjunct. Okay, so that's called a T-square. And then if you've got any planets in Sagittarius, well, that's a grand cross, but they're all squares. Okay, so it's pressure, it's pushing in. Now, we're going to have a second square with Jupiter and Saturn, all right, and that's around 14 degrees. So I sort of know that that would be earlier 60s than the 66s, okay, or 65s, it could be the 63s, 64s. It doesn't matter. You've got Pluto and Uranus in Virgo, and Virgo rules health, all right? Doesn't matter what house it's in. It's still the energy of health, all right? It's the, and having Saturn, if you've got the Saturn in, even if you've got Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn in Pisces, you know, there's an addiction energy that you could have as well. So this square or grand cross, whatever's going on for you, with the mutable signs of Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces, right? That cross, the mutable energy, addiction energy, okay? And also the 60s have got Chiron in Pisces. Chiron's the wounded healer. It's the wound. And when we have these wounds, we often turn to addictive substances. And I'm not just talking drugs and alcohol. It can be food as well. It can be workaholism. Gambling's a big thing nowadays. You know, porn. You know what you turn to tune out. All right. So it's not just while Jupiter is in in Gemini, okay? Because we've got Uranus that's in Taurus at the moment, and Uranus is going to go into Gemini. So we're going to have, if you're born in the 60s, Uranus square Uranus. Wake up energy. Wake up energy. Uranus square Uranus. Uranus square Pluto. Now, why do you think you were born with that Pluto-Uranus conjunction? It was because your incarnation, this life, right? It's generational, but our generation's incarnation, this life, is to master these health aspects, right? So when we were born, that's when all the food started changing. And stay with me if you're not 60s, but you've got that Virgo stellium or Sag stellium or Pisces stellium, okay? You know, that's when the food started changing. That's when we started upping processed food and sugars and all that sort of thing. So that was us. We grew up with that new dynamic as far as food goes. You know, our parents and grandparents, I mean, they were still eating out of the ground, right? Everybody had veggie gardens back then. And even when I was growing up, mum and dad got right into having a veggie garden at one point, okay? But then we bought a lolly shop, and my gosh, you know, we all got sugar addictions, and that lingers, okay? It's just energy. So with this square of Jupiter, right, we've just had the first square with Jupiter and Saturn and Jupiter and your Pluto-Uranus. We've got another one coming on the 25th of December, which is Christmas Day, around Christmas Day. Now, these squares hang on for a while, okay? They're slower moving planets, Saturn and Jupiter. So, you know, they hang around for a fair few weeks. And then the next square is next year in June, but Jupiter will have gone into Cancer and Saturn will have gone into Aries, all right? So, admittedly, Jupiter won't be squaring the Pluto, what have you, but we've still got to keep our head down, butts up, because Uranus is coming along. Okay, this isn't finished. Your life, this life, right, having those mutable signs, you've really got to focus on your health, on your addictions. Now, because the 60s have got that, you know, Saturn in Aquarius or Saturn in Pisces, this is a spiritual leveling up. You guys, we are old souls, you know, we chose that time to incarnate, to master these energies. So, you know, when, and I know this from decades of experience, you know, when you're trying to overcome addictions or something that you don't no longer want in your life, you have to replace it with something. And a lot of people go and replace it with work. Well, you know, you're still disassociating when you become a workaholic. So, you know, it's there in our chart. Pisces, you know, we're going to level up into spiritual energies. Now, there's something else that's going to back us up. The North Node is moving into Pisces, right? So that means the whole collective are going to energetically move into that Pisces energy. And the higher frequency of Pisces energy is spirituality, meditation, maybe even picking up a guitar if you used to play the guitar or you used to do something like that. You know, I'm being urged to start playing my guitar again when I started learning at 11 years of age. It's sitting right there to go and get fixed. But I've also started singing again, okay, because that's that Pisces energy, or writing, Virgo Pisces energy and Sag energy, writing, publishing, all of that sort of thing, you know. So we really are being asked to level up 60s born and anybody with stelliums in the mutable signs, especially with Jupiter in Gemini, because that's our mind. Gemini is our mind. It's our 3D mind. So this is where we can really start implementing with our thinking and our desires, our intentions, because intentions are thoughts, okay? So our intentions to start leveling up and changing ourselves by changing our habits, because Virgo is all about day-to-day habits. It rules the 6th house of day-to-day habits and health. right? That's what Virgo rules. And we were born with our Pluto there, and that Pluto is power. Pluto means power. So when we are actually looking after ourselves with health, we're in our power. And having Uranus conjunct this Pluto, it's awakened to this, people. Uranus is awakened to this. And Uranus is also change, lightning bolt change from left field. Okay, so if you're not looking after your health, wow, as an example, a diagnosis that you're not happy about, to push you, you know, to remind you who you are and what you're here for. Okay, because if we don't look after ourselves, as a masseuse, I know it's hard to get around life in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and your 80s if you haven't looked after your health, and you continue to disobey your conscience that is telling you to look after your health. All right, so that's why it's very specific to the 60s born. You've chosen this. Okay, you're not a victim to this energy. Pisces is the victim, and Virgos can be the victims as well. We are not victims. We chose to master this energy when we were incarnated. All right. So, you know, Uranus is on its way too. And, you know, forewarned is forearmed. Okay. You don't want to spend your 70s sort of overcoming a diagnosis. You want to be strong and fit and enjoy that time. You know, we know now the boomers are living to 80s, 90s, 100s even. This is the future, you know, because of the technology with medicine. You know, they'll keep us alive. They will keep us alive. And if we're going to be alive, we might as well be strong and healthy, and also be an example to society, especially the two generations under us who have grown up with McDonald's as, you know, a dinner choice many times of the week. And I'm not just McDonald's, all that processed food, okay? So health is the big reminder here. You know, stellium's in Virgo, stellium's in Pisces because of addictions, okay? Stellium's in Sag because Sag is just all positive thinking and it'll be okay and let's not worry about it, all right? And then Gemini, you know, Gemini's energy is going to have a big awakening. So anybody you know who's Gemini and you think they've got scot-free through all of these progressive changes that are going on in humanity, Uranus is coming for Gemini energy, and it is an awakening. And you know, I've had Uranus through Capricorn. I'm Capricorn, I know that. And I'm Saturn ruled. So, you know, Uranus squaring Saturn was a big wake up for me, that's for sure, okay? But what's going to be happening when Uranus goes into Gemini and Saturn goes into Aries, Saturn is discipline, right? So it's going to trine this Uranus in Gemini. Sextile, sorry. It's going to sextile Uranus in Gemini, right? So, you know, Saturn will be there to help us to implement disciplined practices that we need for our health and spirituality, all right? Meditation, mastering the mind, transcending the thoughts, so that the mind doesn't have the power that it has had over our lives, because it's all the mind, okay? None of it's real. None of it's real. The light at the end of the tunnel is not the illusion. The tunnel is the illusion. All right, so thank you, everybody, if you're still here listening. You know, I may keep banging on about this because it's very, very important, and it's important that we're coming to the end of our life and that we can be empowered at the end of our life. You know, we've chosen a tricky incarnation with the Pluto-Uranus conjunction, and we've gone, you know, we were born in the olden days, we used to call it, and look at the changes. that are come about now. And we've had to integrate all of those changes, right? It's all changed from no technology to technology. And we've had to, our bodies and our minds and everything have had to adjust to that. All right, but we're old souls, we're strong souls, and we can do it. So everybody, thank you so much. If you're still here listening, remember I'm doing charts, and it's not just here's your chart, okay? It's, we go through it when we start looking at these areas, and we also start looking at blockages, you know, that could be in our way. So I'm here to help. Go into the description box. Also, I've started a new job. If you're interested in meditation mentoring, 2 years, okay, with a small group online, I'm not the leader. My mentor is the leader. He is an ordained monk that now works in the mainstream, okay, and he's enlightened and transcended the mind. So, you know, it's very exciting. Up to you. I'm here for you anyway. If you need any help, please like and comment, and I get straight onto it. See you later, and thank you, and namaste.